Well, once again, we're back here at the Ski Shack here at the University of Colorado, stripping off the mask, social distancing going on, and there is no skee ball this year. Not a physical event. There is the virtual event. I'm voice of the bus, Mark Johnson. I thought we'd reminisce a little bit about this phenomenal program, what the skee ball has meant in the, almost 50 years it's been going on. Former head coach, former skier, former athletic director, Bill Marolt, joining us here for a few minutes. Bill, go back to when this skee ball started. What was it, 1969? Is that what you told me that was first year?
Yeah, actually, I've rethought it. It actually started in 1970.
Okay. All right.
And it was really the brainchild of a CU alum, a guy named Bob Kendall, who grew up in Maine, came to CU and skied for 4 years for us. And he came to me with the idea that we should do an annual fundraiser. Uh-huh. So the CU Skee Ball was born. We held the first one at the Elks Club in North Boulder. And the famous band of Freddie and Henshey played. So it was $35 to get in, and it was an awesome evening.
Yeah, things have changed a little bit since 1970 with the ball.
They really have. I mean, it's like everything. It's evolved. It's gone through different looks and different feels. But I think, particularly in the last 6 or 7 or 8 years, it's really kind of rejuvenated itself, and it's become a really, really neat celebration where a lot of the alums come back and enjoy each other, which is part of our legacy. So this really has been kind of the guts of the tradition and the history of the University of Colorado ski team.
I've been around this program. I got here in 2004, so when was it? Over 16 years ago when I got here. And that was the thing that struck me the first time I was around the skee ball and kind of watching it over the years. You talk about that family atmosphere. We talked with Richie about how he's fostered that. You obviously did the same thing. Right. This ski program has got There's a substance to it. There's a family atmosphere kind of feel to this program, even when you go back, 40, 50 years.
Right. Well, I think that there clearly is a family, what I would call team attitude culture, and that was really created by Bob Yaddy, who was the coach that recruited me here to Colorado and really introduced me to what team and family meant in the athletic vernacular, and that was something that I carried all through my career as an athlete, as a coach, and as an athletic director, and was the whole idea of team and what team can mean, and the culture. The culture around this program is one of success and winning.
Yeah, that's great background. Good stuff. So you ski for Bobby Addy, then you go on to your professional career. How did you eventually come back here and become a ski coach?
Well, I was in the last year of my competitive career in 1968, and I was invited by, ironically enough, a couple of guys that were on the team that were functioning as coaches, Jim Heschler and Mike Romine. They invited me up to Steamboat for the NCAAs because they needed a little help. So I went up and worked, and that kind of sparked an interest. And the powers that be at CU, Coach Crowder, Eddie Crowder was the athletic director, and Fred Casati, who was one of the Coach Crowder's assistants, who ironically enough had been our team manager on the 1964 Olympic team.
Is that right?
Yes. So they sat down and talked to me and said, look, we have a job open and you might be a good candidate. So I thought about it, and I thought, because my real goal coming out of school was to go into ski area management. I'd majored in business. I wanted to get into ski area management, and I thought, well, it might be a really good transition from competition into a real job. So I took the job as a ski coach. It was 1 year, 2 years, 4 years. Then all of a sudden, you realize you've got the skill set and you really like what you're doing. So I just kept going. I just kept charging, and had great support from Eddie and from Fred. They boosted our budget a little bit and really put us into a position to compete. And we won our first national championship in 1972.
Had great success and boosted your budget. Back in the day, that didn't happen very often either.
It sure didn't.
So was it an easy transition then when you made the switch from coaching to becoming the athletic director?
From coaching to being the AD was I think one of the reasons that being the AD was doable for me, because if you look back at the program and the shape it was in when I started as the AD, it was in pretty tough shape.
Right.
And the thing that made it really doable was that I had such deep roots on the campus, not just in the athletic department, but throughout the academic world, throughout the administrative world. I knew lots of people because I had been an athlete, I had been a coach, I'd been around for a long time. I knew the director of admissions really well. I knew the dean of arts and sciences. I knew Coach Crowder. I knew Casati. I knew not only the campus but the community of Boulder. So it was, and I was enthusiastic about it. And I think the most important ingredient or element for a leader is to believe in what they're doing, believe what their purpose is, because that's the only way that you can create enthusiasm. That's the only way you can create passion in the people around you. And so I had that enthusiasm. I had the great pride in what was going on, what had gone on. And I'm going to digress a little bit. You have to remember that my first year here, 1961, I came from Aspen High School. 19 kids in my graduating class. The first year we played 11-man football in Aspen. It was my senior year in high school. We played 6-man basically the whole time I was in high school. Think about that. Yeah. So I walk onto this campus, and it was only 8,000 kids. But to me, that was a monster. But the thing I'll always remember is the first football game I went to, and you walk through one of the old portals, and you walk out into that stadium, and it was a beautiful blue sky. First game of the Big 8.
Wow.
First game that we played in the Big 8, Oklahoma State.
Outstanding.
And the stadium was packed, and I fell in love with Colorado football that day.
That was it.
And then we went on to win the Big 8 championship in 1961.
That's right. Great stuff. Great history. Lastly here, before we let you go, we talked with Richie about this a little while ago, about the way the world is right now in college athletics, and it's important with the fundraising that we're doing right now for this program, but the college ski world's in a little bit of a tight situation right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that all of Olympic sport, that in the colleges and in universities is going to be under a lot of pressure, and we don't know what's going to happen with college football, and that's the driver. We all know that. What does the model look like coming out of this pandemic? We don't know what the Big Ten and the Pac-12's decision is, how that's going to impact. We don't know if the other 3 Power 5 conferences are going to be able to play. And so at the end of the day, how does that evolve? What does that mean? I don't think it means we're going to go right back to where we were. I don't think that's where we end up. I don't know what it's going to look like, but the net effect is going to be that all of us that involved with Olympic sport need to be thinking about how do we create the resources, how do we find the resources to continue these programs, to continue what has been put in place here with our ski program at the University of Colorado, the history, the legacy, the people that have been involved. It's an incredible, incredible group. So it's important that we remember that stuff. It's important that we remember where we've been, what has been created, and not to just let it go by the wayside. It's important that we figure out how to fund it and I shouldn't say save it, but how to drive it into the future so it's going to be even more successful, because it's going to affect a lot of kids' lives.
You can tell why he was a great leader here at the University of Colorado. It's one of the great sales pitches you'll ever hear. Why you want to support this program. Bill, great catching up with you.
Okay, thanks a lot. I enjoyed it.
You bet. Athlete, coach, athletic director here at the University of Colorado, Bill Marolt.